Hello fellow ponderers, Nomad here, and today's pondering comes from John Zonadu. What if Star Butterfly was a Planeswalker? Now personally, I think her spark ignited when she snaps out of her trance in the realm of magic, and she goes off and planeswalks away to help her friends Janna and Marco from certain danger, because Marco had used the wand, which he shouldn't have.
A powerful mage, a free spirit, a warrior, and a princess. With her adept creativity, she would definitely cover blue, as blue is not only the color of logic and knowledge, it is also a color of creativity, deceit, the seas, and the sky. While her free-spirited nature and emotionally based spells, I would say she is also covering an aspect of red, a color that is just as much passion and empathy as it is rage and stone. Those two colors are sensible for Star, but just the two together results in a massive array of contradictions, some of which amazing, causing things akin to mad scientists or something destructive like a megalomaniac. This is usually where a third color would come into place, a third aspect to bind the two colors together. Example, if you add black, a color of death, power, and ambition, you'll more than likely end up with Disney-level villain, like Maleficent. If we add green to the colors, you'll end up with something with a profound respect for nature and a more shamanic orientation. Something like a old wise man, like Yoda. Now, with her being a princess and learning things like being a queen and keeping the world in order, I would definitely have to say white is a sensible balance. White covers the aspects of justice, order, and community, putting everyone else before themselves.
Alright, next up are her abilities. Now, because there are so many spells, like Glitter Dragon Escalation, Spider with a Top Hat Blast, and also, let's not forget, Narwhal Blast. There is so many spells, we can't just slap them onto Star's card. But rather, I was proposing maybe have all of Star's abilities accelerate and help her spells, rather than her just casting spells. The spells you'll cast all of the list of spells. But for now, let's have Star's abilities help them, complement them, and make it easier. For example, the first ability. I'm thinking a +2. Have a look at the top card of your library, and if it's an instant or sorcery, reveal it and put it into your hand. If not, put it back there. Mostly on the grounds that Star kind of fights on the fly. Whatever the first spell she sees, she'll take it and she'll use it. Now her second ability. I'm thinking a +1. Yes, 2 pluses. We'll get to the last one later. So a +1 of target instant or sorcery in your graveyard has flashback, where its flashback cost is its converted mana cost. This is primarily on the grounds that not only does Star use the first spell that comes to her mind, she also uses that spell a lot. Like, repeatedly. Like an old joke. Like Narwhal Blast. And Narwhal Blast. And Narwhal Blast. And finally, her last ability, I'm thinking, since we've already established with her spark that she's able to transform at will, we could make it so it's a 0 when she just transforms. Alright, now that she's transformed, most of her spells are going to have a little more oomph. And for her 0 ability, the first ability, I'm thinking draw a card and transform her. It's great that you can just do that willy-nilly every other turn, you transform and draw. this ability is going to get pretty crucial when we get to her other moves, because you need to change her back to recharge and do some pluses in order to change her back into butterfly form and start wailing on your opponent with other abilities. So 0, transform. Now, as for the second ability, I'm thinking a -X with, you can cast a spell from your hand with a converted mana cost X or less without paying its mana cost. Since she herself is magical, she'll expend some loyalty to alleviate the mana pressure on you. So -3, cast that extra spell. Just drop it. She'll help out with doing some of the heavy lifting of spell casting, or help towards paying some other heavy cost. Alright, now for her ultimate. Now, because of all of this, I'd say her ultimate's a -7, with instant sorcery spells you cast cost 2 generic less, and your sorcery spells have flash. This means that you can cast your sorcery spells at instant speed. With that, you can do buff spells or burn spells faster. Now, it would be a nice idea to just get this once. That way you can play out the game with relative ease. However, there is some incentive to try and build that up. With the 2 generic less, if you get yourself a second emblem, your spells will cost 4 less. If you get yourself a third emblem, they cost 6 less. This is also awesome because it also covers the cost of the variable X. You know about that X spell like Fireball? Well, if Fireball costs 6 less to cast, all of a sudden that's a red and X, and 6 of that X is already paid for. So you can tap 1 red and deal 6 damage to someone. Or you can pay a red and all your mana, and then there's 6 plus whatever amount you paid, which gets to be phenomenally high in terms of damage, in terms of buffing spells or casting spells. And also, it's pretty neat to have, the blue, red, and 5 generic costing spells suddenly cost 2, as opposed to 7. And with that, we're done here. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. And follow me on Instagram. I usually post a couple weeks in advance when the next episode and what the next episode will be. I am working on Dragon Ball Z right now for the next episode, so that's going to be fun. In the meantime, let's roll some cards that I just made up for the series. Looking at things like Pekapoo, the scissor lady. She's got dimensional scissors. She's made dimensional scissors, so that's pretty sweet. And have the dimensional scissors as well. And let's not forget some of Star's iconic spells, like Power Blast, Glitter Dragon Escalation, just because I really like that spell. Yep, more or less. And that looks like that's the gist of it. Oh, it's right around the top half. And have Marco and Tom there too. And you have some spell like the Whispering spell. That would probably be pretty scary. Turbo Nuclear Butterfly Blast. Why not? And yeah, this looks to be about it. Well, it's been great talking to you guys. This is Nomad signing out, and keep on pondering.